Today, we're going to dive into a story, a really simple one, but it's got this one idea inside it that, honestly, can change everything. It's all about how facing the fact that we're not here forever, well, how that can actually teach us how to live.
So let me ask you something. What if you only had 10 days left to live? No, I mean, really. What if you knew for a fact that was it? 10 days. Kind of hits you, right? Well, this isn't just some random question. It's the very heart of the story we're getting into.
And really, this whole story, it's built on a pretty stark truth. We are born alone and we die alone. Everything in between is our choice. You know, it's a powerful reminder. All the connections we make, all the people in our lives, they're so important, but they're still choices we make on a journey that at its core is just ours. You know, most of us, we just kind of assume tomorrow's going to be there, right? We make plans, we worry about the future. But this story, it just throws that whole idea out the window. It challenges that assumption head on and reminds us of the one thing that's actually guaranteed in life, that it ends. And it's interesting, this story has a different take on loneliness. It's not some flaw or something to be ashamed of. It's just our natural state. And when you start to see it that way, it doesn't make your relationships less important. Actually, it makes them more important because you realize there are these amazing, conscious choices you're making to share your path with someone else. Okay, so let's get into the story itself. It starts with this guy, and he is completely, utterly lost, just totally overwhelmed by life. So he does what you do in these kinds of stories. He goes looking for answers from a wise old sage. And his situation was, well, it was bad. He felt totally trapped. No peace, no happiness. He'd lost all interest in even living. He was just stuck in this loop of stress and feeling like a failure, just crushed by all the things he hadn't achieved. So he goes to the sage, probably hoping for some kind of magic pill, a quick fix. But what he gets instead? Well, it's a verdict so shocking it's going to completely shatter his world and, ironically, end up saving him. The sage listens to the whole story very patiently. And then, with this super serious look on his face, he just drops the bombshell. You have 10 days left to live. And just like that, poof, the man's entire world just falls apart. The man's just speechless. He turns to leave, and the sage gives him one last instruction. He says, "Come back to me on the 10th day. You didn't find peace in this world, but I'll make sure you find it in the next." Whoa, talk about finality. Okay, so now he's got this deadline, a very real, very undeniable deadline. And something deep inside him starts to shift. That first wave of shock and panic, it starts to fade. And what replaces it is a completely new way of looking at everything. And this right here, this shows you exactly what changed. All the stuff that used to eat him up inside, money, what other people thought of him, his small house, his lack of a car, it all just disappeared. It didn't matter anymore. And in its place, he started noticing, well, everything. The color of the trees, the sound of the birds, the wind. It really makes you think, doesn't it? What stupid little things would you stop worrying about? What would you suddenly start seeing for the first time? It's incredible. By just accepting that it was going to end, he was finally free from all the fear that had kept him stuck for so long. He wasn't worried about next week or next year. He was just living right here, right now. So the story builds to this moment. The 10th day arrives, and the man, who is now a completely different person, goes back to the sage. But this time, he's not afraid. He's just calm, peaceful. The sage sees him coming and asks him, the big one, right? The final test. "Are you not afraid? Today is your last day." But the man's answer, wow, it's not about fear at all. He just says, "I am free from everything. Why would I waste my last moments worrying when the greatest death is already here?" It's like he's totally free. And that's when the sage smiles. He reveals the truth. "Then go and live. I lied to you. There was no better way to teach you the meaning of life. It was all a trick. A powerful, necessary trick to teach him the most important lesson there is." And the man just breaks down and cries, not because he's sad, but because he's so incredibly grateful. He got his life back. But now he has this brand new way of seeing it. He finally gets it.
Knowing that you're going to die is the secret to living a life without being afraid of all the small stuff. And this is where we come full circle, back to that idea of being alone. This story teaches us that solitude isn't about being lonely. It's a source of real strength and clarity. I mean, think about it. The entire universe is filled with solitary things. The sun is alone, the moon is alone, every single particle has its own separate existence. So being alone isn't some kind of human failure, it's just how things are. And embracing that doesn't mean you have to push people away. Not at all. It means finding that solid ground inside yourself. So when you do connect with people, it's from a place of strength, not a place of need. And on this solo journey, we've got these incredible powers that are uniquely human, right? We have the power to actually think, to reason things out. We've got willpower, which is like the engine that makes our choices happen. We have discipline, which is what lets us keep going when things get tough. And maybe most importantly, we have the wisdom to know the difference between right and wrong. These are the tools in our toolkit, the things we use to build a meaningful life for ourselves.
So at the end of the day, the real lesson here isn't about isolating yourself. It's about finding the strength inside you to walk your own path with courage. Because as the saying goes, caravans follow those who have the strength to walk alone. Real connection, real leadership, that doesn't come from just following everyone else. It comes from having the guts to go your own way. So that leaves me with one last question for you. What path would you choose if you weren't afraid to walk it alone?